What's up, guys? Last time I left off, Brian Secker Fitness here, and last time I left off talking about the blood vessels and muscle fibers cannot build into muscle fibers type 2. Your metabolites, they cannot help in the growth, development, and the reproduction of muscle fibers into complex ones, so it basically builds that muscular structure, that muscle that you're talking about, that specific muscle that you're talking about. I could be talking about the supraspinatus, the brachialis. I could be talking about so many other things. I could be talking about the soleus. I could be talking about the gastrocnemius. Talking about the calf muscles. I could be talking about the sternocleidomastoid, which is again in the neck, and I could be talking about the lateral collateral ligament, which is again in the knee. I could be talking about so many other muscles in our body, but I'm just gonna keep it short. So, thing when we reach this point where blood glucose, it cannot be regulated, then your blood sugar, low to high blood sugar is going to occur, and that's going to lead you down the line into really bad problems, and usually making you overweight, having obesity, you gaining in fat, visceral fat, inside fat that covers up your abs, your obliques, your transverse abdominis, your rectus abdominis, that is covering up any of these muscles, because atrophy happens over time where the muscle is lost and the fat builds up, takes up in that space, so it's preventing your blood vessels from actually supporting the muscles, and it's preventing your blood vessels from building up the muscle tissue and bone structure. So it's affecting both your bones and your muscles, the growth and development of your bones and muscles when we talk about this subject. So let's get back to the video. The hidden benefits of insoluble and soluble fiber. So as we're taking these foods that are high in saturated and both polyunsaturated fats, as we're doing that, it's again going to lead to constipation, bloating, inflammations, and we're really going to need insoluble, soluble fiber and probiotics to get down to kind of cleanse our gastrointestinal tract to the point where we can actually get the micronutrients, macronutrients, macrominerals down to the catabolic breakdowns. When they get into the catabolic breakdowns, they get processed, protein synthesis happens, muscle development, growth, reproduction of muscle fibers happens, metabolites, it's going to be happening too, because that's a major, because for the muscle fibers to expand, you need your basal metabolic rate to make these metabolites, which again is very crucial for muscle development, growth, for muscle tone, hypertrophy, muscle growth, for increasing your basal metabolic rate, whether you get it low and you're usually obese and you're going to be relying on empty calories, usually with no nutritional value. The foods that have no nutritional value, which I could be talking about cake, ice cream, I could be talking about chocolate chip cookies, they're going to have no nutritional value, which again is going to affect your nourishment. You're usually going to have bad nourishment, and I talk about this in a lot of my video guys. Check out my videos, and you'll kind of get informed on it. So your insoluble fiber, usually found in grains. They can be found in medley grains. They can be found in whole wheat based products. Be found in fruit. They can be found in vegetables, peas, vegetables like peas. They're usually the starchy carbohydrate that are out of the starchy carbohydrate vegetable that we usually think about, which peas, regular peas, they don't have that starchy complex. When we talk about this, it's not formed of that. It's formed of kind of richness, and the sweetness is again comes with the starchy vegetables that have these starchy carbohydrates. When we're talking about sweet potatoes, sweet peas, we're talking about anything over the lines of vegetables that are starchy, and you don't find many. Again, there's not many like beans, and they're not that much. Sweet peas, sweet potatoes, broccoli. You can't talk about kale. You can't talk about spinach. you can't talk about all these vegetables because they're really not going to be high in carbohydrates. They're going to be high in protein, and they're going to be high in selenium. They're going to be high in vitamins, and that's the main thing. Macrominerals are going to be high in all these other micronutrients, but they're not going to be specifically high in carbohydrates because they're not on the sweet side. They're again rich, and you're going to be finding them in fruits, dried fruits, which have more vitamin C than regular fruits and fresh fruits, which can have many, many more benefits than the regular fruits that you are digesting, and it's going to really be affecting your gastrointestinal tract and how fast that it clears the saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, the bad things that affects your liver, that increases your cholesterol, your unneeded cholesterol, unnatural cholesterol. And as I say this, how it affects it, and the nutrition that goes behind dried fruits is again greater than regular fresh fruits because they have so many these benefits, more vitamin C, they have more of these vitamins, they have more iron, they have more potassium, they have all of these things, and they're going to like things like cranberries, and they're going to be affecting your joints, inflammation, constipation. It's going to be affecting that. It's going to be getting the saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats out of there, so that they cannot get processed down to the liver, and that it's not increasing in cholesterol, and it's not going to leave you prone to bad liver function, which again is really bad. And why I recommend dried fruits is for this reason: is that it's faster, it's better than fresh fruits, and if you're really looking to relieve constipation, bloating, and inflammations, and any issues with your gastrointestinal tract, delivering the macronutrients, micronutrients, macrominerals down to your catabolic breakdowns, in order to be processed into the protein synthesis for your muscles to actually process this inertia that they're getting in, these micronutrients, macrominerals, macronutrients. They're going to be processing this, and they're going to be building upon this. It's going to be affecting your metabolites. It's going to be affecting your muscle fibers. It's going to be affecting your muscle groups. It's going to be affecting your whole based upon nourishment, which I talk about highly in my video, guys. So I really recommend dried fruits and vegetables. What would I recommend? Dried fruits or vegetables? Now, if you really want to talk to me about that, then let me think about it for a minute. So, as we're talking about vegetables, they're high in insoluble fiber, but things like oatmeal, grains, they're going to be high in soluble fiber. Like if we're talking about rices, mainly grains, if we're talking about these whole wheat based products, and if we're talking about all these things that again are comparable to vegetables, again they have the same amount of soluble fiber as fruit, and when we usually think about it, these grains, they usually don't have the carbohydrates that dried fruits have, that these fruits have, and the vegetables are going to be having insoluble fiber, and once we find the insoluble fiber in the vegetables, well, let me talk to you guys. What would I recommend? Would I recommend dried fruits compared to vegetables? What really helps with constipation, bloating, inflammations, although they both help, I would have to say that soluble fiber, which is found in grains and fruits, that it would generally help more from my experience when eating, because I have a full macro mineral intake balance. So I definitely recommend dried fruits because now the easier the process than vegetables, if you're usually approaching vegetables, sweet peas, sweet potatoes, because they're going to be kind of starchy, and these fruits, they're not really starchy. Again, they have this kind of sweetness, but again, it's going to be easy to get down there to deliver to the esophagus, to the gastrointestinal tract, to the catabolic breakdowns. It's going to be easier for that than vegetables to be delivered down there. And with vegetables, usually we have them relieving it, but after that, we usually have constipation. We have blocks when our gastrointestinal tract gets to the caloric breakdowns, and with these nutrients, micronutrients get synthesized. The thing that's going to be happening, we're going to have constipation, and usually we don't want that. And from dried fruits, we're not going to be having constipating inflammations, bloating, and we'll be able to get the microminerals down there faster than vegetables, because vegetables, they're really high in fiber, and I'd say higher in fiber than fruit. And when they're higher in fiber than fruit, again, it's very, very, very dense, and it's going to take even longer. They're going to have even more effects. They're going to have bad effects on you, of course. Hemorrhoids, hard stools. You're going to have head tension, again, constipation, bloating, inflammations from trying to get the stuff out, get the vegetables out, which again, they're helping. Now when you consume these vegetables, it's helping getting the saturated fats out, getting the polyunsaturated fats out, getting it down into the feces, getting it down into the toilet, and it's out of your body. So you can really apply this nutrition, and you can let these micronutrients, you can let them shine. You can let them do their kind of work. And once they're doing your work, then you're not going to experience constipation, bloating, or inflammations anymore. So the hidden benefits of insoluble fiber, they're both good along with probiotics. They both help the micronutrients to get down there, and it's really increasing our muscle hypertrophy, muscle gain, and how complex the muscular structure is. The muscle fiber structure, again, from the metabolites, and when we talk about that, the anabolic breakdowns, is going to be more profound than catabolic breakdowns, because again, the food's getting processed. But when we're talking about this, the anabolic breakdown it's going to be increasing muscle structure. It's going to be increasing our muscle fibers to simple to complex. It's going to be affecting metabolites, how many metabolites are made, and how many help the muscle fibers to actually build upon that muscle tissue, to in return go to muscle hypertrophy, muscle gain. And so you can decrease the fat, increase your metabolism, increase your vascularity, increase the body fat. You can make sure that your glucogen levels, that they're kind of balanced, and you can. It's just the whole concept of it. You get into a hypertonic state, and having less fat, you're going to be having veins that are actually visible, abs that are visible, muscles that are visible. They're again toned muscles, and they have this nourishment that you're applying. And once it gets down to the caloric breakdowns, and once it's successfully gets down there because of the soluble fiber probiotics, then it's going to make sure that you gain in muscle fibers, your whole muscular structure, your metabolites, muscular hypertrophy, and it's going to be, your blood vessels are going to be flowing correctly, so they'll be delivering oxygen to your muscles. It's going to be building upon muscle tissue, and it's going to be affect how many metabolites are made by your basal metabolic rate. Once you get it higher, more are going to be made, and more muscle fibers will form, leading to a stronger, more built muscle, more hypertrophy than if you were to just eat empty calories and not have any bargain foods with any nutritional value. So I think that's going to wrap up the videos for today, guys, and I just really wanted to stress to you guys in this video the hidden benefits of soluble fiber is that they're going to be doing all this kind of stuff. There's going to be relieving constipation, bloating, inflammations. They're going to be doing all this kind of stuff, and along with probiotics, they all share the same thing. But vegetables, and know that fruit, is that you're both getting fiber, a source of fiber, dietary fiber from each, but you're getting different. Insoluble, you're getting a starchy kind of fiber, starchy carbohydrate, and then from you're getting a sweet fiber from things like fruits, oats, and you're getting a more savory from the grains that you're digesting, that again have a high source of soluble fiber. and things like beans, they're going to be having all this kind of fiber, but the vegetables is the thing that has insoluble fiber, not soluble fiber, followed by the grains, well, compared to the fruits that we're digesting. And I think that I got this video done pretty good, and I'll make another video after this, guys. Bye, Brian Fitness out. Brian Second Fitness out.